things were starting to look like there might be a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel. Got some good news the other day that China, the first country really hit hard by all this kind of stuff, was starting to reopen some theaters. Now, granted, it was only 4.5% of their theaters, and granted, it wasn't any of their major change, but a few hundred theaters had reopened in China. They were going to be showing some rerun movies like Avengers and Avatar and all that kind of stuff. Well, unfortunately, the Chinese government, and actually, you know what, it's probably wise. It was probably wise. But after having like more cases than they wanted going on, they decided to step in and they reordered the closing of the theaters again. Now, there is word saying that they will probably reopen back up again fairly soon. But for now, they wanted to close things down. And again, it is probably the wise thing. It is probably the smart thing for them to do. At this particular point, it was just, damn it, man. It was like that little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel that we were starting to see. It started to look really good. Rob, you're hearing about this reclosing. I mean, disappointing, but it is ultimately the smart decision right now. Is it not?
At times like this, you can only err on the side of caution, and I think it's probably a pretty good idea. It's also an indicator, I think, John, of how things are going to go down here as well. We have to be vigilant. Look what's going on in New York, and now what they're talking about in New Orleans and other cities, Detroit. This is a very serious, very real thing, and it needs to be. I think China doing this was prudent, and I think it was probably a very good thing, and it's something that we should look at and know that I don't think we're all going to be back in the movies by Easter. So.
Yeah, by Easter seems hyper optimistic. I think that's hyper optimistic at this point. And hey, that's okay. Do the right things now. Get the BS behind us as fast as we can. But I will admit, it's a little disappointing for me to hear because we've been in this to see a little bit of a glimmer and then it's taken away. But hey, doing the right thing now always pays off a little bit further down the line. Question is, guys, what did you think about this and about them reclosing their theaters? Disappointing, yeah, but probably the right thing. How do you feel about it? Jump into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right.